Hey, good morning, folks. Pastor Stephen back again with another No Frills daily devotional. And today's topic, you're not going to like this, but it's titled Purpose in Spite of Pain. And I don't know if you know this or not, okay? But pain is kind of a given in life, all right? It's just something that we are all going to experience as humans at some point in our life, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain, we are all going to experience pain. All right. And so the idea behind this, though, is finding and embracing purpose in spite of the pain that you experience. All right. And so I'm going to take you right to the text. I've been tracking through 1 Peter, and I'm still in chapter 1, believe it or not. And I tried to equate it like this in my previous episode, that it's like this great halftime speech. That's how I read the book of First Peter. It's this great halftime speech where he's just really trying to rally the troops. The first quarter and the second quarter have not been going great for these first century believers. All right. But Peter is trying to get them motivated and trying to keep them excited and trying to keep them fervent in their faith. All right. And so I want you to see or hear Peter's words today. And so I'm going to pick up, this is 1 Peter chapter 1, and I'm going to read verses 6 and 7. And Peter writes this. It says, "In this you greatly rejoice." And he's talking about hope that we have in salvation. "Though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials." Pause for just a second for context, all right? When Peter is writing this, Nero, one of the most infamous emperors of Rome, is on the throne. And right now, life is not good for Christians. They've been part of public disgrace. They've been part of these secret trials. They've been subjected to beatings and being killed in all sorts of torturous ways, all right? So they've had some grief in various forms. And I would say that grief is a pretty light term for what they've actually been experiencing. But then Peter writes on to say this. He says, "These have come so that your faith, which is of greater worth than gold, which," and he's still talking about gold here, "perishes even though refined by fire." Now he's going to flip it back to talking about faith. "Your faith may be proved genuine and may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed." All right. And so what is Peter trying to do here? Peter is trying to come at these folks with the idea that, yes, you are experiencing pain. You are experiencing trials. You are being killed. You are being beaten. Life is not good. Okay. "I didn't sign up for this, Peter." No. But you were made for this. Your life has purpose. Your life has meaning. You are meant to carry honor and responsibility to bring glory to God, all right? And so Peter is trying to keep coming at that. And so in spite of pain, you still have purpose. And he's going to give us some tips, all right? And so tip number 1, go to the source. Go to the source, all right? And so pain is a given. That's how I kicked this episode off. Pain is a given, but you still have purpose in spite of pain, okay? That's what Peter's going to try to communicate, and Jesus actually tried communicating it to his disciples. I'm going to read to you. This is John chapter 16, verse 33. And Jesus is talking to his disciples. This is right before he's about to be arrested, right before he's about to be beaten, right before he's about to be crucified on a cross, all right? And Jesus is talking to his disciples, kind of giving them one last speech, okay, before he goes to pray in the garden. And Jesus says this to him. He says, "I have told you these things." He's just got done telling them that he's going to leave the world, that things are going to get really bad for them. All right, that's the context up to this phrase here. He says, "I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble." In me you're going to have peace. In this world you're going to have trouble. But take heart, for I have overcome the world. And what is Jesus trying to hit at? He's saying you got to go to the source. All right. You got to go to the source. But here's what you got to remember. God is not the source of your pain. Okay. Hold on for that. Okay. God is not the source of your pain, but he is the source of your peace. He is the source of your hope, and he is the source of your strength through the pain. He is your source in spite of the pain. And that's what Peter is trying to help these first century believers understand, because that's the same advice he was given from Jesus. Pain is a given, but go to the source. But God's not the source of your pain, but he is the source of your strength, your hope, and your joy, and your peace, and your love in spite of the pain and through the pain, all right? It's learning to ask this. It's learning to ask where, not why, because we ask the wrong questions, I think, when we experience pain, where our default sometimes is to ask, why, God? Why is this happening to me? And that's the wrong question. But it's an honest question, but it's the wrong question. We need to learn to ask, where, God? Meaning we need to ask, God, where are you at right now? Because I know you're not the source of my pain, but you are the source of my strength, my hope, my joy, my peace. Okay? So where are you at right now so that I can find you and lean into you? All right? So it's learning to ask the right questions. It's learning to have the right perspective in spite of the pain. Okay? I think about it like this. It's understanding that this pain is temporary. It's not eternal, having a temporal perspective versus an eternal perspective. And forgive me for this analogy, but think about it in terms of like childbirth, right? One of the greatest pains known to humanity. The greatest pains known to humanity is childbirth. Okay? I don't know if you know that or not. I've not personally experienced that pain myself, though. Okay? But I don't know if you know this or not. People are still having babies. Why? Why would they still be having babies? Well, because they've learned to embrace the purpose behind the pain. That little child. It's not the pain that they go to childbirth for. They go through childbirth for the baby, right? And so it's having the right perspective. It's embracing the purpose in spite of the pain and learning to give it over to God. Okay? Learning to say, okay, God, I'm experiencing this pain, but I'm going to give it over to you, because Paul would write to us this. This is Romans 8:28. And Paul says this. He says, and we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who are called according to his purpose. Now, does that mean that God is going to make you experience pain? No. But he is going to be your source of strength, hope, and love. And you're going to be able to find your purpose in spite of the pain that you are experiencing. But man, I didn't sign up for this, Peter. No, but you were made for this, because God's got a purpose and a meaning and a plan for your life, because he loves you and he's good. Hey, you guys, have an awesome, awesome day. Be blessed.